This is our final chapter called Oligopoly, chapter 17. Okay, and oligopoly is part of imperfect competition. It includes industries in which firms have competitors but do not face so much competition that they are price takers. Types of imperfectly competitive markets: oligopoly, which is what this chapter is going to be about. Only a few sellers, each offering a similar or identical product to the others. Monopolistic competition, what we have just covered the previous chapter, many firms selling products that are different but not identical. And here is the graphic from the previous chapter. And we've done monopoly, we've done perfect competition and monopolistic competition, and now oligopoly. And you can see the big difference there is few firms tend to sell very similar products, but the issue is few firms. More on that in the next slide. Few sellers offering similar or identical products. The firms are interdependent, so the actions of one impact the actions of the other. These firms are best off cooperating and acting like a monopolist by producing a small amount of quantity and charging a price above marginal cost. However, there is a tension between cooperation and self-interest. And one thing that you may want to see on your own is the movie A Beautiful Mind, about the one of the inventors of oligopoly. His name is John Forbes Nash, and in particular there's a bar scene that shows the oligopolistic dilemma very, very clearly. Okay, let's go through a brief example. A duopoly is an oligopoly with only two members, simplest type. And here is a duopoly situation in which cost is equal to zero. So total revenue is the only consideration. So we have price, quantity, total revenue. And can you see where the maximum revenue is? If you guessed 3,600, you are correct, charging a price of 60 and a quantity of 60. So the issue is that would be the monopolistic solution. So let's go through this. Price of water in a perfectly competitive situation would be driven to where marginal cost is zero. And so that would be the maximum. The monopoly situation would be a price of 60, quantity of 60. Now, monopolists would produce 60. The competitive would be 120. What would we expect from the duopolists in this situation? Well, the thing that would be expected is that the duopolists would split the 60 quantity, so they would produce 30 and 30. The duopolists may agree on a monopoly outcome. They may collude, agree on the quantity to produce and the price to charge. Or a cartel, they may join together and act in unison. However, both outcomes are illegal in the United States. So if they do this, they have to do this secretly. This is called price fixing, and this is something that in a capitalist system we want to try to avoid, if at all possible. Summary of an equilibrium for an oligopoly. If the oligopoly pursues its own self-interest, joint output would be greater than a monopoly but less than competition. Market prices are lower but greater than the competitive price. Total profits are less than the monopoly profit. The more the oligopolists can restrict output, the greater their profits will be. However, as the number of sellers in an oligopoly grow larger, the oligopolistic market looks more and more like a competitive market. the price approaches marginal cost, and the quantity produced approaches a socially efficient level. Now, examples of oligopoly, I forgot to cover this. In Hawaii used to be airlines with Aloha and Hawaiian, but one could say that health food stores might be with Whole Foods and Down to Earth. That would be a good example of a duopoly. Let's see, what else? Car manufacturing could very well be an oligopoly. An oligopoly is like a club with a few members in it.